Hello, my friends out there. My name is Masood. Today I would like to talk to you about my family tree, a little bit about history, a little bit about population. And I begin with this book here. This book was given to me by my father, and it was given to my father by his cousin. So this book was published by my father's cousin in 1970. Inside this book, I found this family tree. And I would like to talk to you about this family tree. But before that, let me tell you a story about the author or the person who made this this family tree chart. He was educated in France. He married a French lady. Together they came back to Iran about 70, 80 years ago, and they established a hospital. They built a hospital because they had both studied in psychology. They built this hospital for people with mental disorder, depression, and His son also studied in France. He also married a French lady. He also majored in psychology, and together they came back to Iran to run his father's hospital. But I would like to add a tragedy here, a story about this tragedy which occurred. The founder of this hospital, my father's cousin, the doctor in psychology, he died in an accident coming back from the Caspian Sea with his wife, driver, and cook. The car went down the valley and 4 of them were killed. And similar thing happened to his son that was running the hospital. He was coming back from a skiing trip with his wife and family, and as he was driving back, this stone, this rock, it fell off the mountain, it rolled down, and it hit him and this car, and they were all killed on the spot, which is very unfortunate. But now let's talk about this tree a little bit. This is my great-grandfather father. This is my great-grandfather. This is my grandfather. This is my father. This is me, and this is my daughter. Okay? And if you're interested to know, this is the person I was talking about, the doctor in psychology who established the hospital, his father and his children. Okay? Now, let's go to this chart here, which is very interesting. Yes. My great-great-grandfather was born in 1802. At that time, the President of the United States was Thomas Jefferson, and the King of Iran was Fatalishah Quajar. The population of the world was 1 billion. The population of Iran was 10 million. It was at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and after the Napoleonic War. It was Napoleon Bonaparte was invading Europe. We know very little about my great-great-grandfather. His name was only Reza. We don't know what his occupation was. We move on to my great-grandfather. He was born in 1842. At that time, the President of the United States was John Tyler. The King of Iran was Muhammad Shah Qajar. He passed away, and then Nassereddin Shah Qajar became the king. And at that time, the United States Civil War between 1861 and 1865 was going on. My great-grandfather's occupation was sculptor. He was a sculptor. My grandfather, he was born in 1880. At that time, the United States President was Rutherford Hayes, and the King of Iran was Muhammad Shah Qajar. And my grandfather's occupation was goldsmith. He was a goldsmith, okay? My father was born in 1920. At the time, the President of the United States was Woodrow Wilson, and the King of Iran was Ahmad Shah Qajar. The world population was 1.8 billion. The Iranian population, 10 million. It was after the Spanish influenza, which occurred between 1918 to 1920, and after the First World War, which occurred between 1914 and 1918. My father was an industrialist. He established a few companies. He was a doctor in pharmacy. He established a few companies in Iran, and he built, with the help of French and German companies, a pharmaceutical factory. Also, he built a adhesive and other chemical materials, with the help of German, with actually Henkel in Germany. And if you want to know, the company that he established manufacturing pharmaceutical was with the help of Germans and French. It was at that time, I believe it was Specia and Boehringer Ingelheim and Grunenthal, Boehringer Mannheim. Anyway, let's get back to this chart. Okay, my name is Masoud. I was born 1958. At the time, the President of the United States was Dwight Eisenhower. I was born, at that time, the King of Iran was Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. The population of the world was 3 billion. The Iranian population was 19 million. I was born after the Great Depression, which occurred at 1930, and Second World War, 1940-1945. So actually, my father saw the Great Depression, the Second World War. Also, he was, yeah. So I explained to you. Now, getting to my daughter, he was born in 1991. At the time, the world population was 5.3 billion. The Iranian population was 57 million. United States President was George W. Bush Sr. My daughter was born after the Iranian Revolution. Today, we are now 2020. The world population is 8 billion. The Iranian population is 84 million. COVID-19 is now in process, is happening right now. I want to point out that since the birth of my great-great-grandfather and beginning of Industrial Revolution, the world population has grown exponentially. It has grown by 8 times, whereas before the world population was increasing steadily. It was below 1 billion for centuries. It was just growing very slowly. But after the Industrial Revolution, it grew exponentially, and from 1 billion to 8 billion today. Yes, unfortunately, after the Industrial Revolution, mankind has destroyed nature. We have the climate. We have damaged the ozone layer, the carbon emission, the sea. We have polluted the sea. We have deforested. Many animals have become extinct. And yes, this is our story. Thank you very much.